Ladies and gentlemen, loyal listeners, long-time subscribers, friends, family, and everyone in between, welcome back to another episode of the Man Knows Hip Hop podcast with me, your boy, you know who I am, and my co-host extraordinaire up in the building as per usual.
E Major, here we are again. Man Knows Hip Hop, the podcast that knows and celebrates this beautiful thing we all love called hip hop. You know how it is. Slack, we saying, my brother, you good?
All good, my bro, all good. Episode 26. I want to say, yeah.
We got it.
Yeah, man. So this week we decided that we was gonna have a little fun with it. We're gonna look at our favorite. And actually, before I even get into that, like, don't come with the there's East Coast bias and all this kind of stuff, because it ain't that. All right.
Exactly.
But yeah, we're gonna go for the boroughs. I'm gonna call this one the boroughs. So we're gonna look at our favorite MCs from each of the New York boroughs. Myself and Easton have frequented New York many times over the course of our lives. I was very, very close to living there when I was 16 years old, until a young lady changed my mind in the UK. Yeah, man. I would have been living over there from the age of 16, man. I spent so much time over there over the years. I used to love it in New York. So this one is quite close to both of our hearts. That's probably why a lot of our favorite MCs and stuff are from there. So let's get to it, man. So we've got the 5 boroughs listed out, no particular order. Hopefully, me and Easton ain't gonna have the exact same picks for each one. But I'm gonna let you go first, bro. So let's start. Okay. Let's start in the place where Nas was born, in Queens.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So what we'll do then, we'll go back and forth, one for one. We'll just do like a top 3. And for the sake of the listeners, let me just explain. It don't necessarily have to be our favorites, just people that we rate and rate highly from the boroughs and that. I mean, like Slack said, it's not even about an East Coast bias, but it's interesting to do when you look at it, where hip hop is and the boroughs of New York and the birthplace of hip hop and that.
I mean, we can do a West Coast one as well. We can do a South one.
Yeah, man.
100%, man. A Midwest one, do a UK one. So yeah, man. So we'll carry this on.
Definitely. All right. So you want to start with Queens? Okay. So the first person
Queens is so rich, man. It's so rich. I think Queens and Brooklyn, I think, are the two. The two richly stacked New York boroughs when it comes to rappers, man. So
yeah, man, there's no doubt about it, man. When I was compiling the list, I was just thinking, oh man, so and so,
can't leave him out. Can't leave her out.
Yeah. Exactly, man. It's a tough one, but it's a tough one. So for each, I've probably just chucked in one honorable mention.
You know what? Actually, scratch that. Let's start with Bronx, and I'll start with Bronx because that's the birthplace of hip hop, man. So let's go with the Bronx.
Yeah, let's do.
I almost jumped to Nas because I've just seen a clip of Nas and DJ Premier had just put up a clip.
Yes.
So
he's
done something with Nas, and I was like, oh shit. So yeah, maybe I was a little infested with that. So let's go with Bronx. Let's start with that.
No problem. All right. Oh yeah, and what we'll do is as well, for each artist or group or whatever that we name, just also name your favorite album from them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, cool. All right, so Bronx. So let's start. Most people probably gonna know who I'm gonna start with. It's got to be the Blast Master himself, the teacher, KRS-One, man. Reasons probably very obvious to people, but I want to say this, man. KRS for me, I think we spoke about it when we was reviewing his album. I'm an MC. Are you? Yeah. KRS for me is more than a rapper. Do you know what I mean? He embodies hip hop, man. He is hip hop. Do you know what I'm saying? From his delivery, from his skill, he has classic albums under his belt, solo and as part of obviously Boogie Down Productions. I'll hand on heart say it's probably one of the best hip hop concerts I've been to. KRS-One, he freestyles. You know what I mean? He's got knowledge. He's done different lanes. He kills features. I want to say he's hip hop, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're thinking about the Bronx, that's also got a lot of good MCs in there. I'd imagine that he should be one of the first people you think about, man. So even the bridge wars and everything, just yeah, man, he is hip hop. So much classic moments have happened in hip hop through his, you know what I mean, through his legacy, you know what I mean. So KRS-One definitely, and the album I'm gonna go with as a favorite, I wanted to use a solo one, is gonna be self-titled, you know, KRS-One, the one from 1995. Love that album. Obviously, you know, I don't think he's necessarily got bad albums. He's got albums that are probably, you know, weaker than others, obviously. But yeah, that for me was probably the height of my appreciation for KRS-One around that album. Obviously, you know, I know a lot of people don't like when you list off the singles, but the singles are hard. Rappers Are in Danger for me is just, it's ridiculous, man. I can play that all day long, man. I was talking to my brethren one time actually, and he was like, "Nah, the beat's weird. Like, the beat just sounds weird." But I'm like, I think it's just, yeah. He said
They're in danger.
yeah, exactly. Because you just didn't like. It was kind of like he just felt like I don't. And then you know when he starts rapping over it, it's sort of like the horn stop, and it's sort of But yeah, he kills it. The quotables on that as well. Yeah, so that's my first pick, man. KRS-One, and the album I'm gonna run with is KRS-One, 1995.
All right, well, F you first of all, because KRS will definitely be my first pick, and that I don't think he gets enough credit for his free solos. You know, thinking about it,
yeah.
After BDP, Scott La Rock getting murdered and everything, like he could have literally just, you know, fell off a cliff, but his first free solo albums were crazy, like Boom Bap, KRS-One, and then I Got Next, like back to back.
Yeah.
93, 95, 97. That's prolific. Like all of those albums have got heat on them.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, KRS will definitely be my pick for the Bronx. My pick will be another obvious one. Although, like, you can probably guess what I'm gonna say, but
it's pretty much my second.
It's a little bit sticky though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I rate it very highly. Like, the features and the rapping ability was insane. But he has one album that I like, and then no longer with us. But he's still one of my favorites. And then people say, "Oh, how can you say Big is the greatest? He's only got 2 albums." I'm like, "How could you say Pun's the greatest? Because he's got 1.5. Like, his second album was not. It wasn't good, man. I don't care what people say. It wasn't a good album to me. But I still have to say Pun for me as one of my favorite MCs, just for what he did the time that he was. Very similar parallels to Big, and maybe because, you know, people try to put them against each other because they were both, you know, heavy rappers. They both kind of were very versatile with their styles. They were both very, very like elite rappers. And then both of their careers were cut short. But both of them were writing music for other people. Both of them were killing every feature that they were on. So Pun had a lot in his locker for the time that he was alive. But 2 albums I can cope with. Like, Big gave us a double album, and he gave us Ready to Die, and he gave us a million features, and he wrote the Junior Mafia album. You know what I mean? He wrote a lot of Little Kim stuff. So I think he gave us more than Pun did, because Yeah Baby wasn't good to me, man, if I'm being honest.
Nah. And both Bigs were classic, so it's almost like
exactly, man. Like, you know, Capital Punishment is a great album, as many people would agree, but still, man, I still rate Pun very highly, so I have to put him in there. I don't think anyone would disagree with him being one of the best ever from the Bronx, man, if they've heard him rap. So
100%, man. Once again, like, you know, you hit KRS-One. So Pun's yours, yeah. You got
for albums. I don't really have to say which album.
Very true.
Pun, Capital Punishment.
All right, cool. So that was gonna be my second choice as well. Pun, I don't even need to really add to what you said. We know what we're saying, and most people know how I feel about Pun anyway. He's in my top 5. I really don't care if people talk about, you know, what album won this. I don't care, to be honest. Our list and our preferences are all about personal impact, you know what I mean? And he impresses me like crazy, man. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got that album You know, the Terror Squad stuff. He was writing a lot of their stuff. A lot of people say Don Carter Jeter is Fat Joe's probably one of his best albums. And, you know,
that's a big cut album.
Exactly. Pun's pen is all over that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Fat Joe, Fat Joe pun. I'll definitely go with that. But obviously, you snatched that one, which is a dope choice. So I'll use another one for my number 2. And much to your disdain, I am actually going to say Fat Joe.
Right? Oh God.
Reason being, and I'm glad. And I thought, shall I? But yeah, I'm going to put Fat Joe because at the end of the day, we got a habit of looking at artists, what they're bringing to us now. Yeah,
let's change Boroughs. I'm done now. You said that.
Done with Boroughs, bro. You're looking at Fat Joe as the kind of Fat Joe who he is now. No disrespect to him, you get me? But for me, I feel Fat Joe, he felt hip hop for me, and I'm thinking about you know what I mean, when he dropped his first album, The Gangster, Fat Joe the Gangster. But when he dropped that Jealous One's Envy, which is my favorite album from him, in 1995, bro. And we all know what 95 was like, but that's still got so much rotation from me. I think that's an incredible album. That's a personal classic for me. I love that album so much. And I think Fat Joe's another one on his DITC work. I think he kills it. I know it's easy to say, but whenever he's with Primo, I think apart from MOP and Guru, Fat Joe's probably one of my favorite people working with Primo. I love the work he does with Primo. And I think Don Carter Jeter, as I just said, is a brilliant album. And every album after, even though they got more poppy and poppy, guaranteed there's always going to be 2 or 3 songs on there that are repeaters for me, that I'll pull off the album. Even if I ain't feeling the album, I'll pull a few off. So I've got to say Fat Joe, man. He would definitely be someone when it comes to the Bronx. Man's throwing up in his own mouth, you know. Right. Definitely got to be Fat Joe. So, much to your disdain, man. But yeah, man.
You know what annoys me about Fat Joe? He seems like one of them people who is like, he was around a load of dope rappers, so he kind of gets kind of caught up in the. I mean, he was around a lot of dope people, but I can't say he was ever dope himself as a rapper.
No, I get your point.
He was around DITC, he was around Pun, you know what I mean? So he was around Primo, and everyone's got a Fat Joe story or whatever. But when it comes to actually rapping, I always thought this guy's a bit shit. Like he's just, I don't know, man. There was something about him. I was just like, nah, I'm not feeling this. But as you said, like he'll have a few tunes on the album. What I noticed after the Don Carter Jr. album was he was making some weird choices. Like his albums would be terrible, like 2 out of 5, 2.5 out of 5. But he'd have like you said, 2 tunes on there. So I'm like, you've tried to hit every demographic. Then he started going Miami wearing white suit, and I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, I'm out here. Yeah. I think he had like Elephant in the Room. There's like 2 tunes on there. I think one was and then he had and then he's had what was the other one? It was like a black and white cover with his name in red.
The Dark Side. The Dark Side.
That was a series of mixtapes, wasn't it? The Dark Side.
No, he's actually got an album called The Dark Side.
But there was 3. No, there was 3 Dark Sides.
Okay. Yeah. There's different volumes. Yeah, what one you think? Of?
I don't think they were albums. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. There was one with I can't remember the name of the album now. It's got him smoking a cigar on the front. Yeah,
that's Elephant in the Room. That's Elephant in the
Room. No, Elephant in the Room was it had that was a yellow. His name was in yellow. This one was red. It's gonna piss me to think what it's called. But anyway, that album there again, it had like 2 tunes on there. The rest was garbage.
Jealous One Still Envy. No, it's not that one. Loyalty, not Loyalty.
No, Loyalty was blue. Remember it. I always remember it by colors. Loyalty was blue.
Loyalty was blue. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Jealous One Still Envy was the one when it had the Lean Back remix with Mace on it and Eminem.
Wasn't that?
Him smoking a cigar was a red one, and you're right. His name is in yellow.
All or Nothing. It was called
All or Nothing. Yeah, I didn't give that much spin at all. Actually.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy that album. Then he had Me, Myself and I. Didn't like that.
Mm.
Then he had the cigar one was Elephant in the Room. Sorry,
Elephant in the Room. Yeah,
but
yeah.
the black and white with the red was All or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Jealous Ones MV2. Then he's done the Dark Side mix. So out of that discography, I like maybe 2 albums. Even the album he did with what's her name, Remy Ma was not good. Like he had all the way up, and then it was like, oh, okay, what are you gonna do next? And then the album was horrible. But out of each of those albums, like Loyalty Again, I didn't like that album. Family Ties, I didn't like that thing he did with Big. What would Big do? Are you taking the fucking piss?
Yeah. I don't know what that was, bro. I don't feeling that at all.
Yeah, man. So he's got a lot of misses.
I mean, I take no, he's definitely got a lot of misses, but for me, it's just that earlier run, up to, I don't even know what year to say, but up to maybe when he started beefing with 50, I don't know, but his earlier run, I'm a huge fan of, and unlike a lot of people, I actually like that Terror Squad album. Do you know what I'm saying? The first one, I didn't really feel for the second one, but do you know what I mean?
All right, cool. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah. And it's his energy, man.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But me personally, Fat Joe, I could literally take or leave that guy.
I've got a few for you like that today. Don't worry.
All right. So the next one for me from the Bronx, I am gonna have to go with, and it's not one guy though. It's a duo.
Yeah, that's cool.
Camp Low.
I had that as well, but anyway, yeah, Cam.
Yeah, man. So we've already done a tribute episode on Camp Low, so I ain't gonna spend too much time revisiting what we've already said about them. But when it comes to a classic debut album, the stuff that they've done with Pete Rock, Breakfast at Tiffany's at 1 and 2, just dope rappers, man. Very very dope. Like their slang and the beats that they picked and their whole like 70s blaxploitation style, just very very dope. You could play a lot of their music in any setting. The way that they used to ride them beats as well, just very. I think they're underrated as well. A very underrated duo when it comes to hip hop, man. So yeah, Camp Low will be my second pick for the Bronx.
Yeah, man, same. I was gonna have that down as well. Camp Low. We all know, like you said, whole episode dedicated to Uptown Saturday Night. So as you pick that one, I'll throw out what I had as an honorable mention, and that would be Lord Finesse. And the album I'd probably choose is Funky Technician. For him, definitely don't get mentioned enough. Solid producer, solid MC. You know what I mean? Legendary to the game as well, and very important member of DITC, one of the dopest crews in hip hop, man. So yeah, I'll run with that one, man, for the Bronx. So that will wrap up my 3, man.
All right, man. So the last one for me will be CL Smooth, and I don't know which album I'll pick because the first 2, well, the only 2 that he's got with Pete Rock are both to be classic albums, man. So I could pick either one of the Main Ingredient or, you know what I mean, the first one. But I think he's very underrated, CL Smooth, and I think that's because a lot of his work pretty much ended by 94 when the second album came out. So Mecca was pretty much a flawless album. Main Ingredient was pretty much nearly just as flawless as that one.
I prefer it, to be honest.
CL just he doesn't get his props, man, and I think it's just a matter of just material because his career ended quite short with Pete Rock in 94, and then the stuff that he did that was solo after obviously didn't, because he had an album called American Me, which just wasn't as good. He featured on the Pete Rock album Soul Survivor 2, which was a dope song, but again he disappeared again. But the stuff that he did was very very good, like, stood the test of time. So yeah, I've got to include him.
Yeah, man, good shout, man. I hear that. He was on one of AZ's albums as well. He dope verse, man. I remember hearing it thinking, right, man, yeah, I wish we heard a bit more from him, man. He's got one of the sickest voices as well.
Yeah, he's got the flow, he's got the lyrics,
man.
He's good on stage as well. I saw him with Pete Rock. So he had it all, man, but I don't know what happened. Like, he fell back, it seems. But it would have been good if we had more from him. But yeah,
100%.
So we'll move over and we'll go to Queens next.
All right, yeah, all good.
All right, man. So you can kick off, man. Who you got first?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with and once again it's Big G running another racket wearing Pele jackets. Cool G rap, man. Gotta go with him. Not only is he one of the sickest from Queens, he's one of my favorites out of hip hop, full stop. He's in my top 10 of all
Period.
time. Bro, I can't say it enough. He's got the sickest flow, man. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just flawless, man. Do you know what I'm saying? When you listen to certain, my favorite album from him would be 456. Once again, I think it's a personal classic for me as well. And I want to mention that one because we all know how dope the 3 albums were. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, they done with DJ Polo, but I just think the flow, man, that classic Cool G rap flow that we associate with him, it just went off on 456, man. So yeah, brilliant rapper, all the greats. So many of the greats say that they obviously not copy him, but you know what I mean, that we're inspired by him, his
They copied
content.
him.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Like that's what Peter Rap push. They copied.
Yeah, the flow. Do you know what I'm saying? The whole mafioso rap was him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have had no Only Built for Cuban Links and all that if it weren't for him. He's underrated on his storytelling as well. I never hear people say, Cool G Rap's a brilliant storyteller. But they should. When you listen to his music and his tracks, man, he's a brilliant storyteller, stays on topic, stays with the flow, and paints a picture very clearly, man. And even if you take his old stuff, whereas, let's be honest, a lot of MCs who were considered really, really sick in the 80s, and you play them now, there may be a lot of like modern rappers that rap better than them. If you know what I'm saying? But they obviously hold that place in our hearts because of what they've done in the culture. But I genuinely think you can take Cool G's 80s work and put it against anyone now, and it still sounds so fresh and challenging. So definitely Cool G rap, man. Got to go with him, man. Queen's finest.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go with the obvious and say Nas. I don't really have to say much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm honest, I would say two of my favorite ever rappers are from Queens, Cool G and Nas. And Nas, I think he's got, as time goes on, I think that guy has made like enough to say that he's the greatest that's ever done it, to be honest. Even if he's not my personal favorite. And that's not to say that I don't like a lot of his stuff, because I obviously do, but the stuff that he's doing now, like in 2022 going into 2023, like it's like he's had a resurgence. And I know that he's had a lot of made stuff that maybe people didn't enjoy as much as his other bits and pieces. But when you actually look at what he's done and what he continues to do, Big is my favorite rapper, always will be, and my personal greatest of all time. But when I look at the grand scheme of things, I always had it as Jay-Z was, and I don't want to do the whole Nas versus Jay-Z thing.
Yeah.
But I had Jay-Z just for what he's achieved, his career, the trajectory, the amount of people he brought in. Like, he's literally ticked every single possible box that there is to tick, but as far as a career goes. But I think Nas at the moment as it stands now, Nas is just doing just much better than what I think Jay is. Like, a new Nas, like when he dropped Magic, and I think everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I wasn't expecting that. KD2 was good. I didn't like KD1.
Nah, I wasn't a fan of that.
But the fact that he's doing that, he's just at a point now where he seems hungrier now. And it's just like, how are you still this hungry at like this far into your career, and you're still way above these other dudes who are rapping, man? So I think he's got, great claim. So what Large Professor said, back in 92, 93, definitely stands true, man. So yeah, what more can I say about Nas, man? He's had one of the greatest careers that hip hop has ever seen. So
yeah, definitely, man. You got to shout him out just for the fact that he's dropped Magic.
And he's going to be KD3 again soon, because whatever he's got with Primo,
that
he's teased today, God knows what's coming next, man. So and he's like, I think he's listened to the fans, like, yeah, what you got with Hit Boy is cool, but we want to hear that Primo shit,
bro. Carry on talking. My telly just came on, bro.
Yeah, no worries, bro. But yeah, man, the fact that he actually came and gave us, or is giving us something with Premier that we've all been asking for the longest time, it might be a little bit longer than we had hoped that it would take for it to come out. But from the snippet that I heard, I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, Nas is definitely.
Wow, apologies to the listeners, and that's never happened before. Literally just came on phantomly, bro. Sorry about that, man.
Good, man. So yeah, but yeah, Nas has done enough, man, to really like. I don't think anyone could argue with him having one of the the greatest careers in hip hop. He's literally done everything. So yeah, salute to Nas, man, for real.
Yeah, 100%, man. I was listening to Magic again the other day. It's so sick, man. Start to finish, man. It's still such a sick project. You could take anything off Magic and put it on Illmatic, or It Was Written, in my opinion. Sounds sick, man.
Yeah, I just want the Nas J shit to stop. That's all I want. Like, just allow them to have their separate careers, man. You know what I mean? Every time Nas brought up, I have to say Jay. Every time Jay's brought up, I have to say Nas. And the only reason I said that I think he has surpassed Jay is because when we're looking at career, because I personally
had him as the
exactly. So that's the only reason I mentioned it too. But yeah.
No, I get that, bro. You can't post Nas or Jay without someone saying something about the other. But that's a power to. That's a testament to their beef, though.
20 years,
one
bro.
of the greatest
20 years later.
That's why. Exactly.
Over 20 years. Like let's get over it, people. Let's let it slide.
It's mad annoying. Even they don't like it. All right, cool. Yeah, Nas, of course, man. So I'm gonna go have Mobb Deep for my second choice. My second favorite hip hop group of all time. Gonna go have Mobb Deep. Yeah, man. What can you say, man? They for me, if you really want to talk about that gritty New York feel, you know what I'm saying? On a winter's day, I just think about Mobb Deep, man. They're one of my favorites of all time. Havoc is my top 3 producer of all time. He's number 3 after Primo and RZA. So you know what I mean? They're just a great testament to hip hop, man. My favorite album from them is Hell on Earth. Doesn't put a foot wrong, man. Love it, man. I remember '96 when it dropped. I was playing it all the time, man. All the time. And to now, it's got to be one of my most played hip hop albums ever. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy about that album? I don't know if you felt the same, but I wasn't sure that it was an official album when Hell on Earth came out. I thought it was like a bootleg or something because Infamous was still in heavy rotation. And then it was almost like, because I think it came out in '96, right?
'96, yeah. So the following year,
right? So I wasn't used to rap albums coming out, 1 year consecutively, year-wise. And then the cover was just so basic as well.
Yeah, the cover's whack, man. So I was
like, is this actually pro? And there was no like lead single or nothing. I just remember like the album came out and it was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So I was like, is this a mixtape? Is this a bootleg? I don't know. But when I played it, I was like, oh shit, like this is an actual album. And then the review in the source came out and they was like, these boys have leveled up. And I was like, they actually have. Like the beat sounded better, the rhymes were better, but the feel of the Infamous is maybe better for other reasons. But I think musically, I think they were better on Hell on Earth personally.
Oh, exactly that, man. If we're talking, and obviously, we understand Juvenile Hell was there, but if we're talking about classic albums, Infamous is gonna be way more of a classic than Hell on Earth. But Hell on Earth for me, like you rightly said, is a better album. It's definitely my favorite from them. They all leveled up, man. Prodigy with his rapping, Havoc with his rapping and production.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's insane for me. And I remember playing it, man, and them saying, because obviously I was a big fan of Infamous like everyone else. And I remember playing it. And then it starts, he's saying, oh, you remember what we done on the Infamous, right? You got to do that again, but better or something along the lines. And I remember thinking, boy, they're big. That's what I'm saying. And as I'm listening to it, I'm like, yeah. But I remember when I heard the title track, the actual Hell on Earth.
Yeah. I used to repeat. I
was just going to say, I just pressed repeat in my CD player and I left that would be playing for hours, that one song. Just on loop, man. It's just captivating, man. It's I
still know that song back to front, front.
Incredible, man. One of my favorite beats from Havoc, man. Such a sick beat, man. But yeah, gotta say that album, Mobb Deep and Hell on Earth. Shout to them, man. Yeah, man. That would be my second choice.
I didn't say my favorite album from Nas, by the way. And obviously it's Illmatic. I didn't feel like I needed to really make that biggest, but yeah, Illmatic is my favorite album. Next one from Queens, Pharoah Monch will be my second pick. Pharoah Monch technically is probably one of the greatest I've ever heard to rap. The stuff he did with Organized Confusion,
man,
that he could switch flows and stay on.
He's a maniac.
He's crazy. Like
he is.
I feel like the purists, air quote, they know about how dope Pharoah Monch is, man. But I don't think he's ever really, apart from Simon Says, and people might not even know who it is that did Simon Says. Just know that it's one of them party records, and that was crazy that became like a party anthem. It's kind of crazy that the DJ will drop that in a club and the club will go nuts. So yeah, man, just lyrically, just his flow is all over the place, but he stays on beat, and the shit that he says, and I think he's got to be one of the most respected, man. I know for a fact MCs, if Pharoah Monch is on the track, they're sweating, just break it out. It's shit. I don't know. I've got to keep up with this dude. His debut album was dope. Desire was very dope. War was dope. We Are Renegade.
PTSD is good.
PTSD is very good. Yeah, man, just a great catalog, even with the Organized Confusion stuff from the debut to the Stress album, Equinox. Yeah, just a dope MC overall, man. Literally like the embodiment of an MC. Yeah, man. So Monch will be my second pick.
That's a good shout, man. Yeah, I agree with everything you said on that, man. For how much goes without saying, man. All right, so my third choice from Queens, I'm gonna go with Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent himself. Got to throw out 50, man. You know what? I'd say he's top 10 for me. I know he floats around, the lower end of it, but for me personally, man, he may not be like the most lyrical, but he embodies what I like in hip hop, man. He's funny in his bars. A lot of people don't really actually realize he's actually really humorous in his bars, man. I was going to say something, but it might be a little bit inappropriate. But I was listening to one of his tracks the other day, and I literally laughed out, man. He goes, but yeah, so Get Rich or Die Trying was going to be my favorite album from him. But we all know what he's done for the game, his mixtape run, and I'm not just saying it because of his impact, but his impact was stupid, man. His impact was colossal. You know what I'm saying? It goes without saying, one of the most powerful impacts in hip hop that we've seen. So yeah, definitely 50 Cent. I'm a fan of his. I like his music. I really do. His tracks are enjoyable. His music has, as I know I've said it on the podcast a lot of times, but for me, what makes you dope and what makes an album dope is replay value. So obviously there may be a lot of albums, man. I was talking to someone recently actually about Kendrick Lamar versus 50 Cent. Is Kendrick more of an artist? Yes. Is he more creative? Yes. Does he technically make better albums? Arguably, yes. But am I going to play a Kendrick album before I play a 50s album? Me personally, no. I feel 50 Cent has way more replay value. And for me, that's what keeps him high in my list, so to speak, because I want to hear more. So yeah, definitely got to be 50 Cent, man. I'm a fan, man. So yeah, 50 Cent Queens, no doubt.
I feel like I overplayed 50 Cent, if I'm being honest, man. Again, yeah, he was one of those, like, he would always say some underhanded shit on a record, or just some funny stuff, or like he had some lines like, "I'll shoot up your mama's crib and let your ass look for me." It's like, what?
That's what I mean. He'd be like, nah.
Like, he'll say some crazy shit. He used to pick like dope beats as well, like the beats that were on his albums. That the Get Rich or Die Trying, then the Beg for Mercy album, like production on those albums. A lot of the production on the Massacre.
Even Massacre, yeah.
I don't think the Massacre is a classic album, but I think there was a lot of heat on there because I think it was just too long. There was a lot of filler, a lot of R&B reaches, Candy Shop, and all that stuff I didn't like. So I think with 50, right, he kind of hit his peak on his debut, because I think after that, I think he lost interest. I think he was like, I've sold how 10 million or whatever. I ain't gonna do that again. And when he did for the massacre, because I think that sold like 1 million or something the first week, and then I think that went diamond too. After that, you could tell he was like, he was like, he's doing his shoes and his flipping clothes and movies and everything else. And then what album came after? Was it Curtis?
I was gonna say it might be us as consumers more than him as the artist, because around the Curtis
if you listen to the music, bro, like the Curtis music was not good, and then the Before I Self-Destruct was not great, and then like Animal Ambition and all those kind of stuff. If you measured that music to the stuff that he did up to the Massacre,
of course,
the mixtape, like every mixtape was crazy. 50 Cent is the Future is probably like the greatest mixtape that's ever come out. Like simple as him, Lloyd Banks. Yeah, I just feel like he just kind of he was like, what more can I do? Like I can't sell another 10 million after I've done it twice at the gate. I think there was an issue with him and Interscope as well with Jimmy Iovine. Jimmy Iovine was kind of not happy with what 50 was doing, going in competition against Beats Audio and stuff like
the headphones and that.
There was all this, bullshit going on around it. The whole thing with Murder Inc. or whatever. So I think a lot of outside music stuff kind of influenced where his career went, and I think he was like, I don't give a shit no more. You can kind of tell he lost interest, man. Like just his raps were getting lazier, and he was making stuff like what was it, Have a Baby by Me and all this, and it was just getting a bit
the pop reaches and that,
the song he did with Justin Timberlake,
that wouldn't have happened in
like, there was just a load of stuff after that. So up to the Massacre, I was like 50 was untouchable for me. Like I said, I think I overplayed his music because I can't listen to him now because I listened to it so much when it came out, and it was just so big and it was everywhere. Like you couldn't go to a club or you couldn't walk past a car or without someone playing. And even in my house, bro, like I remember me and my kid's mum had moved into our place, and I was just playing the album like over and over and over and over and over while we was decorating and everything, man. And yeah, I can't listen to it now because it's just, I heard it so much. It's one of them. I can't listen to it in the club. Like if that song comes on, I have to skip it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like he definitely deserves his place, man. He's like, he can never be forgotten for what he did, and he's still in TVs and TV shows.
Yeah, he's killing it now. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely like transitioned into, you know what I mean. So yeah, gotta give him his props. But my next one will be Lloyd Banks, because I think Lloyd Banks was the dopest rapper in G Unit. Like,
agreed,
by a mile. I listened to his song that he did the other day with Conway Menace, and Lloyd Banks is rapping his ass off.
He's back, bro. Yeah,
he is like a menace. His mixtapes as well. He doesn't get enough props for his mixtapes, man. Like a lot of his tapes are fire.
Definitely, man.
I really liked his debut album as well. I listened to it the other day, The Hunger for More, and I forget how much I enjoyed the album. Again, the production value was high. He was on Interscope, so he had access to like the dopest producers and stuff like that. I didn't really like his albums following that as much.
I liked Hunger for More too. I thought that was dope.
I need to revisit that. I don't think I listened to that enough, because around that time I was getting a bit bored with like the sound. A lot of stuff that was coming out was kind of this. I think that was around maybe 06 or something like that.
When was that? I think it was
somewhere around there, 06, 08, whatever. But there was like a lot of ringtone rap and all that was coming out, and I was just a bit kind of bored of the whole shit. So I'll have to go back and listen to that. But his mixtapes, just him, his freestyles, the song he's got over Victory, Jesus Christ, man, he ripped the hell out of that. I can't tell you about times I've rewound that freestyle. Very talented. And for him to come back with the Course of the Inevitable album last year, which was just dope to back, and I think this album, Course of the Inevitable 2, might be even better. So wow,
yeah, I think it is.
If he's actually able to top that, then yeah. But yeah, out of Queens, yeah, Banks is dope, man. He did his thing.
That's a good shout. Definitely, man. Yeah. So that's ours then.
So the next bar I'm gonna go for is Brooklyn.
All right, man.
In the house.
One of the hardest.
Yeah, this one is tough, but yeah, go for it, man.
All right, man. As most people know, I'm gonna go.
All right,
with
let's
Jay-Z.
move on. We all know
You're,
Jay-Z.
you're funny. You're funny. You're actually funny. Yeah, got to be Jay. I mean, what much more can I say? He's my personal favorite and my personal greatest of all time. Do you know what I mean? Reasonable Doubt for me is my favorite album from him, followed closely by Blueprint and Black Album. I just think he's a sick MC, man. And I'm going to say something that sounds insane, but I'll stick by it. I actually think he's underrated. So I'm saying people may think, what? Oh, exactly. You literally just said it as I said it. Bro, let me say why I think he's underrated. Yeah. The reason I say why I think he's underrated is because a lot of people are sick of all the props he gets and they downplay him, right? And a lot of people don't understand the props he gets. So they're like, like he's just overhyped. But strip away all the hype and take away all the kind of like stannery and the worship that he gets. Just listen to him as an MC. I think he's an incredible MC, man. Bar for bar, he's got punchlines, he's got humor as well. He's got charisma. Do you know what I'm saying? He's clever, he's good at storytelling, he picks good beats, he makes good albums, you see what I'm saying? Reasonable Doubt didn't put a foot wrong for me. And I know there's a lot of talk on the timeline now, and a lot of it's by people who weren't there in 96, you see what I'm saying? So all they're going by is statistics and things like this, and they're like, oh, Reasonable Doubt wasn't as popular as it is now as it was in 96, and they're exactly right. But for me personally, anyone around me can tell you, like, I ain't even fronting. Jay-Z became my favorite rapper from Reasonable Doubt. Up until that point, it was Biggie. When I heard Reasonable Doubt, I was hooked. And at that point, he became my favorite rapper. And then he hasn't fallen off for me personally since. So, yeah, definitely got to shout Jay-Z for Brooklyn and Reasonable Doubt, man. So, yeah. But most people who know put in...
Yeah, it's funny that people keep talking shit about Reasonable Doubt. They clearly weren't there because I bought it when it came out. I literally bought it on the release, and I remember listening to it on the bus. So I must have still been, it must have been like, I don't know, around the mid-teens or whatever. But I had it on in the headphones, and I remember when 22 came on, I was like, oh shit! And I remember listening to The Evils. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, man.
Like no one's gonna tell me that that wasn't impressive when it came out. I even remember the Source review and them saying how dope the album was and stuff. Brooklyn's
just didn't do numbers. Yeah,
didn't do numbers, but we had Tupac selling like 10 million copies of All Eyes on Me in the same year. We had the Fugees in the same year. Jay-Z, that was a debut album. How was he supposed to compete with the Fugees, with Tupac? Biggie was running everything in that year as well, even though he didn't have an album, but he still had his features, the One More Chance remix, and all of that shit was still bubbling. He was doing like the 112 shit and all of that. You had Bad Boy and Death Row going at it in 96. Like 96 was a big year, bro. Like,
yeah, 100%.
For him to come out and out of nowhere, like he was known as Biggie's man to everyone. He was like Biggie's guy rather than Jay-Z. You know what I mean? So I think people downplay it because it wasn't like all over the place. But those who knew about that album. You know what I mean? Man. 100%. It's funny when I see Revisionist, man. I'm like, you could tell who was there and who's just talking shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's just numbers. This is it didn't sell like
this. About numbers, man. Like Illmatic didn't sell well, but everyone knew that was a dope album. I bought that album again on release day. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear nothing from people who bought it in 2001. I bought it in 94.
exactly.
With my own money. Like I bought that album and I listened to it on my way home after I bought it and ripped the plastic off. You know what I mean? So these people can say what they want, but I'm just laughing. Like I know you weren't around, so I don't give a shit what you're talking about. But anyway, my first pick from Brooklyn, I don't need to say the greatest from Brooklyn, B.I.G. R.I.P. Again, we've dedicated the episode to him. There's nothing more that I can really say that hasn't been said already. He's another one that people try to downplay for some reason. It's almost like if a rapper hits a certain amount of success or notoriety or respect, people have to be a dickhead and try and downplay it. I don't understand that. Like, are you that insecure? You don't like to see someone get I don't understand that mentality.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I don't get it. It's like there's a reason that these people are revered. And then I've heard people say, but he's only got 2 albums. But I alluded to it earlier. The same people that would say Big Pun is one of the best, who has 1.5 albums because maybe he was, as I just said. But you've got someone who's got 2 classics and the multiple other shit that I've said. But then you're going to try and say that he can't be the greatest because, but that again makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
What he did was enough, because what he did still hasn't been surpassed.
Yeah.
By people who have multiple albums. They still can't go and do a song with 112. They can't go and do a song with Total. They can't go and do a song with The Brat. They can't go and do a song with Tracy Lee, with Shaq, with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm like? I don't need to say no fucking more. B.I.G. End of story. Favorite album, Ready to Die. While he was alive, you could not touch that man for his pen, for his albums, for his features, for his quotables, his charisma, literally everything. So that's the end of that for me. Big.
Yeah, man. Respect. Obviously had him down as well. So I'll go with my follow-up one. And I'm gonna go with Sean P. Definitely, man. Favorite album from him is Monkey Bars. I was just looking at it again this morning. How much
P was on mine as well.
Yeah. Say that again.
Sean P was on my list.
Yeah, definitely. So much heat. I was looking at Monkey Bars, man. Just ridiculous, man. I was spinning it this morning. The amount of tracks on there, but yeah, all his solos though, even his mixtape run is underrated. But it don't really matter who, like, what album you say is your favorite, man.
Nothing. On his albums, I don't skip nothing.
Exactly, man. It's a strong catalog, man. But definitely, I want to go with Sean P, man. And I want to say this as well because I hate when people come off with, oh yeah, I said that, and bro, you never said that. You get me? But you can look at past episodes, look at old tweets or what have you. I know it sounds insane, but Sean Price was always my favorite out of boot camp.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Right, exactly. So obviously we know, you know what I mean? Rock was
the guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing, definitely, bro. But it's like when in wrestling, when everyone was screaming Hulk Hogan, I was Ultimate Warrior. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, me, I was
there you go. But for me, there was just something anyone can tell you, man. It was something about Sean Price that always stood out for me. With Rockness, obviously his voice, his flow, so much good things about him. But I always felt like Sean P was the lyricist of the crew. Do you know what I mean? Whenever I was going to hear any kind of joint tracks or whatever, I wanted to hear his verse. When Helter Skelter dropped Nocturnal, it was him I wanted to hear. As dope as Rock is, obviously. That's my point. But this is why I want to say Helter Skelter should be revered as one of the greatest hip-hop duos or hip-hop groups of all time. Definitely. Because they're both so good and their chemistry is so good. Do you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like it was always Sean P for me, like always. I felt like this guy's, he always had something that just made me say this guy's mad. Always, even if it was just his flow or the way he done something, he always impressed me, man. He was always my favorite, and then closely followed by Rock. So when he went on a solo run and just, basically upheld the whole boot camp, and the rebrand, so to speak, you know what I mean, from Tall Sean or what have you to Sean P. That was even more insane. Do you know what I mean? His solo run, his mixtapes and everything like that. So yeah, gotta go with Sean P, man. Definitely one of the best out of Brooklyn, man. Yeah,
Sean P was definitely on my list too. For my second one, I'm gonna have to go with Busta Rhymes, and because the mere fact that I still feel like he's underrated. I still feel like when you look at someone put up a tweet the other day, and it was like scenario, he was 19 when he did this.
I saw that
scenario verse, and I'm like, shit, because he must be 50 something now. And I'm like, fucking hell, like this guy doesn't get enough props for what he's done. His last album was crazy. The ELE2 crazy album. Like there was so much heat on there.
So much.
When you go through his catalog as well, The Coming, When Disaster Strikes, I don't even have to talk about his features. Another album that I feel is very underrated by Busta Rhymes is the one he did on Aftermath.
The Big Bang.
The Big Bang. That album, pretty much top to bottom, you've got Stevie Wonder on there, you've got Rick James on there, you've got everyone on the flipping Touch It remix or whatever. You've got Break Your Neck. You've got some heat all over the album. Q-Tip, Marsha Ambrosius, Nas. He killed the album, man. Like that album is really, really, really good. to the point where I think there's only one song on there. I think it's that I Love My Chick. I think that's pretty much the only song that I don't listen to the album. The rest of the album is crazy. And that came out what, around 08, maybe something around there.
Yeah, probably around them times. Yeah.
So I'm thinking like his first album come out in 94. 08, he's still dropping heat. 2020, he's still dropping heat. Like not a lot of rappers have that, and let's not get into the videos and the creativity and one of the best live shows in hip hop. Like he's one of those MCs that have literally ticked every box. And some people go, "Oh, he only does rah rah." I'm like, well, if you think that,
you don't listen.
You don't listen. Like he's got many songs where he's not doing that. Songs with him and Q-Tip, features that he's done with Tribe Called Quest. He's eaten many a rapper. Like some of my favorite rappers, he's eaten up on the track. I was listening to Redman interview the other day where he was talking about Busta's feature on The Goodness. He was like, if I know Busta's listening, I know that he's going to try and tear me up. But you know what I mean? So just one of the dopest, man. Like I don't think he's appreciated enough, and I think unfortunately he's going to be one of those MCs that only when he's not hearing it no more, people are going to start dick riding and being, oh, how he was dope. But I've been doing it for years now and saying how dope he is.
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%, man.
Yeah, I just think it's one of them where, you know, people go, oh, it's a shame. You know, he was so dope. Look at how dope his catalog was. Look how many rappers he ate up. Look at this. Look at that. I'm saying now, I've been saying it for years, one of the best. And his peers, though, he's one of the best too. So, yeah, Busta.
Agreed, man. Agreed. I concur, man. Seriously, his features runs. I was even doing a deep dive into his catalog again the other day. I think I've said it before. I like to do that every now and then, just listen all over again to people's catalogs. And he's so creative, man.
Exactly that.
He's just so like and exciting. You remember when Abandoned Ship dropped?
Huh?
Like when Abandoned Ship dropped and things like that. And a hoo-ha. When hoo-ha dropped, it was like, what is this? Obviously, you got a little sense of it because of scenario. But when hoo-ha dropped, we ain't heard nothing like that before.
Nah. And they haven't heard nothing like it again.
That's what I'm saying. But he's
only he could do hoo-ha. No one else.
No,
I can't think of another rapper that could get away with doing that song.
I agree, man. You know what song I was thinking about this morning? I had to play it, so it was in my mind. You know, Salute the Gods on Anarchy, which I think Anarchy is an underrated album, man. I love it, man. Yeah. With the Bet You By Golly Wow sample. It's just like that wouldn't work for many people, man.
Exactly.
But he just pulls it off, man. Yeah, he definitely deserves it.
You can say that too. Like, give me some more. Who else is doing that? Who else could do Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See?
Yeah.
No, like he's got, man. And the flows are different on each one of those songs. You know, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See is very kind of, his voice is toned down, but he's still kind of flowing like.
Yeah.
But then Woo-Ha is like up in your face, animated. Like and then you've got Touch It where he's going up and he's going down and he's going up.
Yeah.
Like and if you listen to the ELE, the first album, a load of those beats, bro, you're not getting anyone else that can rap over those beats, man.
Nah.
Some of those beats 100%. Was like so different. So yeah, man, like just again, the epitome of an MC.
Agreed, and he's probably one of the best at the fast flow as well. You can talk about Eminem and Tech Nine and all these other people, but he's probably one of the best at that fast flow as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, like you said, he ticks all boxes, man. Even when he wants to slow it down and do his R&B or his features, or when he wants to chat and do ragga tracks, you know what I mean? Now he's got to get props, man. But yeah, he was on my list as well. So I'll go with an honorable mention that I had. So my last one. This is the one where I said, much to your disdain, I'm going to go with AZ, one of my favorites out of Brooklyn. bro, what's the log off?
Out of all the people in Brooklyn, you're coming with AZ?
No, bro, I had not Sean P. I said Sean P. I had Busta and Big as well. Obviously, you had them. So these are like my honorable mentions in case we doubled up. Yeah, but definitely, yeah, bro. Look, listen, goes without saying, Do or Die for me, personal classic. I think it's an incredible album. I know we've spoken about it a lot of times, and you prefer the first half and things like that, so I won't dwell on it too much. But I love that album, like front to back. I love that album, personal classic for me. And I listened to his catalog, like all his albums after as well, and I don't think he has a bad album. I understand for you because you're not a fan, so you're not gonna dig into the catalog. But for someone who appreciates AZ, he's got a strong catalog that's never mentioned or really spoken about or celebrated. And bro, his flow. The way I was speaking about Cool G before, AZ has got that flow. Obviously, it just Cool G's is more impactful. But AZ's like water on tracks, man. He just flows, just effortlessly, in and out. And I think he's got one of the sickest flows in hip hop, man. So I definitely want to give AZ a shout. Even his Do or Die 2, I'm not a fan of sequel albums. I think they should just be left alone because you immediately compare them to the original. But even Do or Die 2 was decent. He's still spitting at this you know what I mean, this stage of his career. And lastly, I think if he didn't come out with that verse that everyone loves, obviously, The Life's a Bitch, and come out under Nas's wing, I think he'd be appreciated more. I think because say that again.
I don't think we'd have heard from him if it weren't for that verse.
No, obviously he come out with that, but what I'm saying is if he came out as an MC, obviously that put him on the map, innit? So
that's what I'm saying. If he just came out with Sugar Hill, I don't think anyone would give him a shit. I think the reason people checked for him was because of that verse.
All right, I'm going to say something. Me and you have said it off air, but I'm going to say it now for the listeners to hear. I don't even think Life's a Bitch. I don't think his verse is that impressive to me. Like when everyone goes on like, oh, classic AZ verse, I genuinely don't think it's all that. Like there's way more better that AZ's done than that. I wouldn't hear that and think, you know, like when we heard Rapanoid's verse on Give Up the Goods, or you know, it's the RAPPER. Was it Give Up the Goods? Whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, when people come out with verses and you're like, nah, that's a sick verse, and it plays in your head and you get record deals from a verse and stuff like that, or Busta Rhymes' Scenario, or just little things. It never done that for me. Do you see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, for me, even a track like Sugar Hill, as poppy as it is, you listen to that again, and his flow on that is sick, man.
It came on the other day on Shuffle, and I couldn't reach for the skip button quick enough.
That's funny. But you know why? That's because you're not a fan, though. You see what I'm saying? But that's what it is. It's like I have MCs like that. Do you know what I mean? That I feel exactly like that. They bore me, but they're revered in hip hop. Do you know what I mean? Lupe Fiasco, Freeway, or whoever you want to say. I just don't check for them like that. I see skill, but I don't really check for them. But if you like appreciate AZ's flow, then you're going to realize that he's got a strong catalog. So, yeah, without going on, definitely AZ for me, and favorite album, Do or Die. Yeah, man.
All right, I ain't even going to say no more on him.
I got another one for you. Don't worry.
So my last one will be, it's tough because it's either Kane or Ace. Ace I saw very recently in concert. The man hasn't lost a step. Must be touching mid-50s, 60, whatever, I don't know. But he is like the epitome of longevity in hip-hop. The man still, like, he still looks young. He's still, like, commanding the stage. Again, the true epitome of an MC. Never dropped a bad album in his whole life.
Yeah, I agree.
Dropped some absolute fire, creative concept albums. Picks great beats, great live show, career over 30 years strong, still doing it. So there's not much I could say against Ace. Kane, again, the epitome of an MC, the inspiration for so many MCs that came up listening to Kane, wanting to be Kane. Looks like a job for Long Live the Kane. Features, just everything. Just one of the pioneers that I think he was just one of those rappers that everyone wanted to be like. It was him, Rakim, KRS, just around that kind of late 80s, early 90s, like a little bit before my time, but because like a lot of my elders were listening to that kind of stuff, I caught onto it as a kid, like listening to Kane and stuff like that. Like that was a great time for hip hop, man. Like Public Enemy and all those kind of groups. And Kane came out of a style that everyone wanted to emulate. Like you listen to Raw, you know what I mean? You listen to that and you're like, Jesus Christ, like this dude. Of course. Then you listen to him on a tune with Big L, and he holds his own against, you know what I mean, on a track with Big L over a DJ Premier beat as well. So yeah, man, he's got everything. Yeah, just one of the dopest that's ever done it, man. So yeah, Kane and Ace, man. So 2 for 1. Buy one, get one free.
Yeah, man, I respect that. That's all good. All right, next Borough. What are you saying?
All right, so favorite album, probably Long Live for me. The debut for Kane. or even his second album was dope as well. Looks like a job for like both of them. Just crazy. And for Ace, that's tough because I really like Slaughterhouse. I really like Master Ace Incorporated. I really like Long Hot Summer. It's difficult for me to pick.
That's my
favorite. Disposable Arts is crazy too. So I don't know if I could pick one favorite for Ace, but the one I probably played the most was Master Ace Incorporated out of all of them. Funny. I love that album when it came out in '95, man. INC Ride and Terror and everything else that was on there. Dope album, man. So yeah, tough. I need to think about that one for my favorite. The next one it's tough, man. It's Harlem. Stroke Manhattan. So who you got first?
As I said, I got another one for you, man. To your disdain, I'm gonna go with Killer Cam. Definitely, Cameron for me. I know you're not a fan. Album for me is Come Home With Me. 2003, 4, one of the two. That's my favorite album from him. For me, I think he's got a strong catalog. And like I said before, man, when you see those memes of people doing like mocking Cameron and rapping like him, you know what I mean? Like he crossed the street and the Humpty Dumpty and all of that. It's actually hilarious because it is actually how he raps. But there's just something about him I love, man. Do you know what I mean? He's just hit himself. You see what I'm saying? I like his flow. I actually like his flow. He's probably got to be top of the list for when you talk about charisma on a track, man. And obviously just what he's ushered in with Dipset and stuff. That was a whole movement. His impact on the hip hop on the whole. Yeah, man, I'm a fan. So I'm definitely going to go with Cameron for my first pick for Manhattan.
Okay, my first pick, Big L, will be my pick. Unfortunate that he was kind of taken too soon, but for what he did with DITC, his verses, his freestyles, and way back, but he died in what, 97?
Was it? No, I think it was later than that. I think it was like 99.
Was it that late?
Yeah, because the Big Picture dropped in 99.
Yeah, so I think that came.
He had just died.
Wait, after he died.
Was it 97? Sure. I might be wrong. I didn't realize it was so
long
ago.
I think it was. Yeah, because the Big Picture was maybe a year after he died or more. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, you might be right. Actually, yeah.
He was saying way back then. He was talking about being independent and having his own label, like Flamboyant. All you lot come and sign with me. And all this. He was talking about all this independent shit from early, So you can tell that's why him and Jay kind of had that relationship because they were both on the same shit. So it kind of makes me think, what could this guy have been? Do you know what I mean? He was talking that kind of own your own shit from early. Not a lot of rappers were doing that. A lot of rappers
at that time
signing with labels. A lot of them were like, I want to sign with the majors and I want to do this and that. He wasn't on that. He was like, I want to own my own shit, and he was dope, man. Like a lot of his verses were so
come on, man, of course.
Just yeah, man. You can still listen to his stuff now, but oh shit, I can't believe you said that. So he had those punchlines. He had the voice. A lot of people say that he sounded like Finesse.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just one of them for me, man. I just think he was just very good at what he did, and it would have been nice to know what he could have done. You know what I mean? So yeah, R.I.P. to L, and he would be my pick.
Man. Yeah, me too. Second, Big L, got him down as well. Incredible MC, his flow, punchlines. I think it's just a punchline thing that him and Finesse that a lot of people they say that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Big L, man. I haven't got a backup one, so I've got the same number 2 as you, man. So, back to you.
He's very clever with it, man.
Definitely.
Black Rob will be my next one. I really liked his debut album, Life Story. I think that was a great album. I think he was a really good rapper as well. He had the voice. He kind of commanded a track. Lyrically, he was actually really good as well. I think he was underrated. Again, R.I.P. to Black Rob, man. It was horrible the way he died. Seeing him in hospital, you know what I mean?
Man, not good.
But yeah, I really enjoyed his first album. I didn't really check for his second album because you know how I feel about Bad Boy and shit like that, man. I kind of I didn't want to listen to anything from that dickhead's label, so I don't even think I've heard all of Shine's album to this day.
Same, I haven't either.
I couldn't get over the Biggie voice, and I was like, you're signing this dude who sounds like Biggie just off the. I had major like, as everyone knows, I hate Puffy. Like I can't. One day I'll go into exact details about why I feel the way I feel about that dude, man. But everything around him just seems to turn to shit, and he always comes up smelling the roses. Something's not right about that. But that's I couldn't listen to Bad Boy shit, man. Like after Biggie died, I was kind of tapped out. I think True Story came out maybe 98, 99, something came out. That was obviously like a humongous song that I really liked. Yeah, I just liked the way he rapped, man. He was grimy, man.
Big 100%, man.
He was dope, man. So yeah, man. Big respect,
man.
Rob, man.
Good pick. I was actually going to cheat and say Tupac, man. I know he's, you know what I mean. Obviously West Coast and that, but you know, I shouldn't really. I don't think he even dropped any music while he was in Harlem.
Nah, MC New York. I don't think
he would count, would he? That'd be cheating, innit?
That'd be cheating.
All right, so scrap Tupac then. Boy, I struggled on this one. I ain't gonna lie, because there's obviously a lot of MCs, but I'm talking about people that I like.
Yeah, you got like Jim Jones and Bardo and all them guys.
I'm probably gonna, that's what I was thinking. I'm probably gonna go with Jim Jones. You know, and the reason I'm gonna mention him, I was never a fan of him in the early days. I actually thought he was comedic. Do you know what I mean? Like not in a good sense. Do you know what I mean? Like almost like the flavor of you know, to Cameron, obviously to Chuck D, but. You've got to respect his hustle, got to respect his progression. And who would have thought that he's actually the man for Dipset now? Do you know what I'm saying? When you think of Dipset, what have you, it's more Jim Jones that you're going to think is going to fly the banner and have music now. That's like, yeah, here it is. And his last few projects have actually been all right, man. So
he ain't writing the raps, man. There's no fucking way he's writing the raps.
See, you know me though. We've had this discussion before, innit? Until I know, like, for sure, I need to just take it as face value, man. So, but I hear you.
Way. You don't go from whatever the bullshit Diplomat's albums to flipping to El Capo. Nah, bro. Like, don't take me for a prick. Seriously.
Nah, I hear, and you know what? That's obviously the debate.
There's no way. But yeah. That's
for what he's given us, I'd have to go with him.
Yeah, I guess, but I ain't feeling that guy, man. He said on the interview as well. He's from the same island as my mum. I was like, oh, rah! Like, I never saw that coming. I was quite surprised, and I still don't fuck with him. Like even after that, I was like, rah! But all right, cool. Jim Jones. What album?
Oh, God. Boy. Yeah, the El Capo one was that's the one with the skull on the face, isn't it?
Yeah, that was
I'll go with that one. That's probably the one I've given the most spin. I wasn't really a fan of his earlier mixtapes and stuff when people was on him. Nah.
Yeah, I wasn't at all. Yeah. Smoke Dizza would be my next pick because Harlem is. I don't like a lot of rappers from Harlem. I don't know why, but a lot of the ones like A$AP Rocky and all those guys, I just never enjoyed, never liked them. Just I don't know what it is, man. But yeah, I just didn't fuck with him. Smoke Dizza, I liked a lot of his stuff. He worked a lot with Ski Beats. He did a lot of stuff around when I was heavy into Currency and Jet Life and that kind of stuff. I used to smoke weed as well quite a lot, so he was someone to listen to whilst, you know what I mean, me and my friends will be jamming. So he makes a lot of chill music. He picks really nice beats as well. I wouldn't say he's the greatest rapper. I'm not gonna lie, I say he is, but he's someone you could just listen. Like Currency, I don't think Currency is the greatest rapper because he's not. But I like his music. Like a lot of he picks music that I could listen to. You know what I mean? And Smoke Dizza is the same. And my favorite album from him easily is Don't Smoke Rock, because when he linked up with Rock, man, and like I play Dust to Dusk maybe at least once a week. That song is fucking beautiful. Like the beat is just great. I like if Don Kennedy wasn't on that song would be perfect to me, because you got Big Crit on there, Smoke Dizzer on there, but I like both of their verses. Don Kennedy's verse was not good at all. I don't know why we put him on there, but yeah, I listened to that song so much, and it's one of them. I have to play it again once I played it. Like I have to hear it again because it's just perfect to me, like the musically. Black Superhero Car. Everyone knows I don't like Rick Ross. That song crazy.
Sick though, yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Smoke Dizzer, man, for real, for Harlem.
Good shout, man. Good shout.
And Borough. Well, there's only one left, and to be honest with you, it's a struggle because Staten Island, we all know it's the Woo, but a lot of the Woo ain't even from Staten. So I'm only gonna pick one person, and that's Ghostface, because as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, I could be wrong, but I know a lot of the other Woo members weren't originally from Staten Island. A lot of them maybe moved there or whatever, but I know that Ghostface was a Staten Island brother, so I'm gonna have to go with Ghost. And I can't pick a favorite album from Ghost because I enjoy so much of his albums, man. I find it tough. Like to go Iron Man, Supreme Clientele at the gate. I love what's the album called, man? The Ghost Pretty Tony album. I love that.
Oh
album.
yeah.
I love Fish Scale. Like he's just got so many albums that I really like, man. Ghost is one of my favorite MCs. Like
100%, man.
If I even gun to my head, I don't know, because I love Supreme Clientele, but I think I may have played maybe Iron Man just as much, and I'll probably have played Pretty Tony just as much. Totally different sounding albums, by the way. You know what I mean? You got like Full RZA on the debut, then you've got a myriad of producers on Supreme Clientele. You got another myriad of producers on Pretty Tony. You got another myriad of producers on Fish Scale. So, but they all, he makes them all so good. Bulletproof Bullets is a dope album. Yeah, man, just one of the best for sure. Like, just great at everything lyrically. And he could pick a beat that's not even a beat. That's just like a vocal sample. And just kill it, like, and you can still hear the vocals.
Yeah.
Over it, like is, you know what I mean? Like you're just in the house, just rapping over. Oh, just sick, man. Yeah. So
agreed. Yeah, agreed. Same, bro. Obviously, we're gonna struggle. Definitely Ghostface for me. And whenever we're speaking about favorite albums, it's actually always an easy choice for me. It's Iron Man. I just think it's flawless, man. And I've said it before, and we could say it about other albums, but literally, it seems to just feel. And I say feel because it's one of those ones that you feel it, man. It just feels to get better and better and better and better. Each year that goes by and each time you play it, it never ever sounds dated. It never sounds like, oh yeah, that used to be dope, and you appreciate it because it used to be, but you're not feeling it anymore. Nah, it always sounds as fresh to me. And I know Ghost ain't even a big fan of it, but
that was the funny thing. He was like,
the mad thing.
When he said, "Oh, I just took what RZA gave me," kind of thing. I just took the beats that I could get, and I was like, "What?"
Nah, I love it, man.
I
still remember when I bought it. Yeah, man. I remember bringing it home, playing it.
The fact that he was like, I just took whatever. And
that's what I'm saying. That shows him.
He made that out of it. But that's why I think he sounded hungry on Supreme Clientele, because you could tell those beats
was him.
Exactly. That was him.
Yeah. Which is a shame. When I first heard that, I was actually disappointed because obviously I love the album so much. To hear that he don't really feel it.
Nah, don't be disappointed, man, because it exists. Whether he likes it or not is irrelevant. If you like it, that's even better, because I love There Is a Dark Side. Redman doesn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't be disappointed if he don't like it. He gave it to us. That's the main thing.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. And like you said, he's one of my favorite MCs. He's probably like number 3 on my all-time favorites list. He's one of the most descriptive rappers that you could have. You know what I mean? He's another person that makes you feel like you're there. And I've said it before. I don't like sex skits on hip hop. I hate it. You know what I mean? I don't really like when rappers are overly talking about sex and that. It just feels a bit like
he's got a way of doing it.
Come here for that, but he does it like
he's got a great way of doing it. Yeah,
it's not sleazy. It's not like he just does it
nasty.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not like, I don't know. He's got a great way of doing it. Even Biggie as well. When Biggie did One More Chance, the original one, he did that brilliantly, because it wasn't like West Side Gun when he did that one, and it was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's not.
It's trash. Like, But when Ghost and Big did it, it was like there was a way that
It was
they
like
did it.
art, man. It was like art.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like painting a picture, man. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It wasn't like, oh, let
he
me
killed
spit
it.
in your mouth, bitch. She was like, what? Nah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had a way of doing it that was dope. So yeah.
But even
yeah.
if Ghost was saying that,
He
he
would have
does
made
it
it
so
dope.
like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like yeah. You know, little things like, can you cook, darling? You know what I mean? When he comes in, he's just like, man. So when he raps, it's like,
Ghost is different. And the thing I
yeah,
love
man.
about him, you could never have another Ghost, man. Never.
Nah, man. As much, man. His
And when he
impossible
came
verse.
when he came out, bro, like no one would have said Ghost would have been the one who to have the best catalog out of the Wu-Tang. Nobody would have said that. I would have said maybe Meth or maybe RZA, but I would not have said Ghost. No way.
Yeah.
But the fact that dude he carried the Wu, man. Let's not fuck about. He did.
Nah, there was a time when man, that symbol didn't mean
there was
much.
a time when no one was really.
Yeah.
And if we're honest, when we look at the Wu catalog, like as a group, that is not the best catalog, man. It's quite disappointing if I'm being honest, man. So Ghost carried a lot of that Wu symbol on his back.
Agreed, man. No, agreed. Yeah, Ghost is the man. Trust me.
So man. So,
yeah, man. So my second pick then would be Meth. And I know we just spoke about not everyone originating there. He's from Long Island originally, isn't he? The reason why I'm still going with Meth though is because he had one parent that lived in Long Island and one parent that lived in Staten Island. So he split his time between the two. So he will still identify as being from Staten Island as well. So I think it will qualify. So yeah, I'm going to go with Meth. Favorite album from him would be Tikal. It's funny because it's like a resurgence of Tikal conversations on the timeline lately.
So bored
say that again?
I'm so bored of that conversation. Like, I get it. Like, if you were there, or if you were alive in '94 and at an age you can understand, you know what I mean? Then you'd say, for the buzz that album got, it didn't deliver on the buzz. I don't care what
anybody, man. No, 100%, man.
People were disappointed with that album when it came out.
Yeah.
In respecting some, but the beats just were undercooked. The singles were dope, like Bring the Pain, Release Yourself, Sandman was dope. But then in between those, it was just like, all right. You know what I mean? And he was supposed to be the star. He was supposed to be like the main man. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people did in it, man, to be honest. But
yeah, I think it's solid now. When I listen to it now, I could be Yeah, exactly. Revisiting it, yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like you said, bro, I was there and just for the beat, man, with my money, buying the record when it dropped. Like, I couldn't wait for it to drop, and I was crazy disappointed. But I wanted to like it so much. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's one of those ones. Like you said before, which is a good point. You listening into the album years after it dropped, obviously you're going to think, wow, this is actually a sick album. But now we're talking about buying it like straight up. But yeah. But for MCs, Meth, I mean, MCs, he's my second favorite out of Wu anyway. Nothing needs to be said. He's an incredible MC, lyrically, flow-wise, longevity, consistency. He's on point, man. So that's what I'd go with my number two. Who you got for your number two?
I don't know who else was. Where was Ray from? Was he from Staten?
I think he was from Brooklyn. I might be wrong, but he was from out of Staten, definitely.
I don't know who else. I don't know who else from the Wu was from Staten Island. I think everyone else is pretty much from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Because I know RZA, ODB, Master Killer was from Brooklyn.
Yeah, they were Brooklyn.
So I'm pretty much a ghost, man, for Staten Island, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear that, man.
Because anything else is going to be a super, being honest. I'm not even sure some of the those were dope, but I'm not sure if they're from Staten Island or from somewhere else. Because you got Killer Sin, who was super dope, but I don't know where he's from. So I don't know if I could put.
You got like Shaheem, Street Life.
Shaheem was dope, but would I say that he's like
exactly?
I mean, he was like when. Don't get me wrong, I love his albums. Like, I really love those albums. But I don't know if I'd say, you know what I mean, if I could put it on a list with Ghost, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, so if I was super reaching, I'd say like, yeah, Shaheem, But yeah, I don't know, man. I'll probably just leave it as Ghost is the number one from there and leave it at that.
Yeah, I hear that, man. So yeah, I would have had Ghost, Meth, and then Ray third if he qualifies.
If he qualifies, yeah.
If he qualifies. All right. Then,
if he qualified, I'd have Ray on the list, and then I'll go for Shaheed number 3.
Okay, cool. I hear that. All right. So just before we close, then last question. Out of all those 5 boroughs that we looked at, gun to head, if you had to pick a favorite borough, what borough are you picking?
Oh, you motherfucker. Oh shit. Well, it's got to be between Queens and Brooklyn. That is tough. Just because I would have lived in Brooklyn if I went to New York to live when I was a kid after I finished school. Maybe bias. A lot of my friends and family was from Brooklyn or living in Brooklyn. I got some really good memories of Brooklyn as a kid growing up. But then Queens has got Cool G Rap and Nas and Mobb Deep. But yeah, I'm gonna go Brooklyn, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Biggie, Jay-Z. Yeah, I gotta go Brooklyn. My personal favorite MC ever is from Brooklyn, so I'm gonna have to go Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because that was a deciding factor for me because I actually thought I'm gonna go with Queens. Just because of all the hip hop royalty that comes out.
LL Cool J, DMC,
you know what I mean?
guys, you know what I mean? And they were so like,
on DMC, yeah, that's what I mean. Queens, man.
But then, yeah, you got Kane and shit like that from there. Where is Rakim from? What borough is he from?
Long Island.
Yeah, because I was gonna do like EPMD and that, but yeah, that's right. That's why I never included.
Long Island, yeah.
You're right. Yeah, man, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. I say the same. Like I said, I was gonna say Queens, but you know, if I'm looking at my top 5 rappers, for example, 2 of them are from Brooklyn. Do you know what I mean? So
right.
You're gonna have to go with that, which is Jay and Big. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go at Brooklyn as well. But I was actually gonna go with Queens.
Number 1, man. Shout out to all my friends, Dean, K, Elam, all you man out there in Brooklyn, man. Big up. And also all my family out there in New York as well, man. Getting gentrified as we speak. Hold it down. Don't let them move you out. Yeah, man. Brooklyn for sure is the winner. So what we're gonna do, I think we're gonna have to revisit this, man, at some point and do the West Coast, so we don't leave out our West Coast peoples, don't leave out our Southern peoples, our Midwest peoples, our UK peoples as well. So yeah, man, we're gonna have to revisit. Maybe not boroughs because everywhere is not spread out like New York is, man. Yeah. We'll just have to try and find another way to do it, man. So thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode of the Man Knows Hip Hop podcast with me, your boy Slack, and my co-host extraordinaire, as always,
E Major. Nothing but love, man. Appreciate you rocking with us. Got some more exciting stuff coming up for you, man. So you know what I mean, stick with us. But yeah, another episode done. We'll see you again next week, man. Much love.
Absolutely. Take care. Be safe. I'm hearing COVID's coming back and there's a load of crazy shit going on out there. So stay safe, man. And take care of yourselves. And we'll see you on the next one, guys.
Peace.
Peace.